yesterday I made a first attempt in my life at making potato salad, and I did a very terrible job of it. And Boat Mom says that I overcooked the potatoes. Apparently it doesn't take 20 minutes to boil them into mash. Like, that's not the right thing to do for potato salad. But the good news is I have leftovers, and at the end of the day it is still potatoes and eggs and mayonnaise and all the usual stuff. It just tastes more like mashed potatoes than potato salad. So I think I'm gonna start my day by grabbing a little snack. So let's see, I just woke up a few hours ago. I listened to the morning radio net. I got up, I drank chocolate milk, I watched Grey's Anatomy, I laid on the couch for a couple of hours watching YouTube videos on my VR headset. I'm already brutally hot, like the sweat is just rolling down my back, although I know you can't see that. And I guess I'll find something to do today before the rain's supposed to come. I can already see the dark clouds coming. When the rain comes, the humidity is going to spike through the roof and it's going to be brutal inside the boat. That's why you can see I put that little tent thing over the front hatch, so that way even when it rains I can usually keep the hatch open to let the boat breathe. The two air combings do breathe a little bit, but not that much. And when the humidity goes up and it's raining, you have to close all your portals and hatches, so then inside the boat, like, it becomes like a sauna and you're dying in the heat. And that's all boat life, people. Oh yeah, let me tell you guys the exciting, I don't know, this is sort of the sailor stories in my universe right now before they even make it to the blog. So this is the sort of news this morning that I woke up to and shared with all my friends. Might as well share with you guys too before it gets to the blog. And Teddy Bear, because he doesn't know the stories yet. So apparently, if you guys remember, if you've been following along and you remember from the blogs, my friend Neville, he's a St. Lucian guy living in Antigua who helped crew my sailboat to crew for me to come from Jolly Harbor around to Falmouth a few months ago. We're still in contact, still friends. Neville is an amazing human being, nicest guy ever. He's just fantastic, high quality guy. Well, he works as like a boat builder, repairer, boatyard kind of guy, and I guess last week he was helping to lift an engine out of a boat, like for an engine repair, and he got a little kind of cut on his knee, on his leg. Being, you know, a tough police officer kind of guy that he is, he's like, it'll be fine. 3 days later, his leg was so swollen that he could barely function, and he goes to a doctor, and the doctor said, oh my god, if you'd waited another day, you'd be dead. His leg is now so swollen, he's on antibiotics, 2 weeks of bed rest, he can't stand, he can't sit, he can't sleep, he's in agony all of the time, sort of begging them just to cut his leg off, it hurts so badly, all from a tiny cut that got infected, and then 3 days later, the infection spread to his entire leg. His knee is so full of pus, it's causing so much pressure, he can barely stand it, and he's a tough guy. That sort of illustrates for me one of the rules that I know as a captain on the ocean is that, like, every single tiny cut your crew gets, they must report it to the captain immediately, and you must first aid it and clean it and disinfect it and take very good care of it immediately. And I know when I get male crew, right, like men are always like, I'm tough, I can handle it, no big deal. And in land life, maybe that's true, but on the ocean is so full of so much bacteria and life forms that you get the wrong one in an open cut, you'll get infected fast. Like, my hands are still healing from all the cuts from working on my engine and my plumbing in the last few days, and right away, like, I'm always, you know, hydrogen peroxide, then rubbing alcohol, then polysporin, and then Band-Aid it, because you want it to kind of seal up and scab before it gets infected. And people think that I'm kidding when I say this, like, it's no big deal. Like, Lexi, you worry about nothing. Well, there you go. My friend Neville almost died and almost lost his leg and is currently suffering in extreme agony from a tiny little cut on his leg last week. Really does happen. The other story I want to tell to you guys is not my story, but it's sort of close to my world, like somebody that I know. So I'm going to be very respectful and protect his identity and all that. But 2 weeks ago, when I was back in Antigua with Candy and we were at anchor in Freeman's Bay and I was looking for that weather window to make the jump south, I had a Canadian friend on a big catamaran up in St. Martin, and he was going to make the jump south as well, but rather than come to Grenada, he was going to go over to Curacao. So we had been texting back and forth about choosing a weather window, and then he decided to leave on the same Monday that Wild Child left on. We made our jump down to Grenada, and he made his parallel jump in his very fast catamaran down to Curacao. Well, I was texting with him this morning, and then he says, like, I said, how did the passage go? Like, was everything okay? And he said, yeah, it was all fine except for hitting a whale. A whale. Not even kidding. True story. I know the guy. The guy is very reliable. This really happened about 2 weeks ago. It was in the Caribbean. He left St. Martin at the same time that I left Antigua. So he was in the same seas at the same time. It was on the Tuesday morning around after 18 hours at sea. So it was Tuesday morning sometime. He was probably further to sea offshore than we were, and we were probably a little ahead of him. He's flying along in his catamaran on a beam reach in relatively rough seas, taking a nap, when all of a sudden, like, the cat, like, bam, slams into something. Like, the drawers go flying out, the doors all bust open, the fridge flies open, things start flying all over the boat. He gets ejected from his bed, comes running up into the cockpit like, what the hell was that? Looking for the container that they must have hit or something solid. And he looks off the back of the boat and he sees like a shark fin, like a tiger shark or something. And he's like, oh, that's weird. And then he realizes they hit a whale, and it's the fluke on its side. They rammed full speed in a catamaran to a full-size whale, and I don't know anything about whales, but the really, really big kind of whale must have been sleeping, and they rammed it with their cat and hit it in the head. And then as he runs up and he looks out the back, like off the stern of the boat, he sees blood in the water and the whale kind of flailing, trying to orient itself. And of course the catamaran full sails kind of kept going off. Poor whale. Like, we as sailors absolutely never want to have a collision with or hit a whale. He got very lucky in that the damage to his catamaran was very minor. We don't know the fate of the whale, but for those of you sailors that think, it's impossible, you could never possibly hit a whale in your sailboat, you're worrying for nothing, which people told me when I was sailing around whales 3 years ago up in Canada on the St. Lawrence River. I was terrified of hitting a whale, and everybody said, Lexi, you're crazy. It's impossible for you to hit a whale. Well, reality check, boats do hit whales all the time, and my Canadian sailing friend ran into a whale 2 weeks ago and hit it hard, and it was the big kind of whale too. So for those of you that think bad things can never happen out on the ocean like this, that it's impossible, odds of probability, people, let's be logical. There is a chance. It's not a big chance, but the chance is always there. Same thing as a pirate encounter. It's not likely, but it is absolutely possible, and it does happen. Oh shit, it's raining. Fucker. See, there you go. That's the Caribbean tropical life for you. I just showed you video. I was on deck 2 minutes ago of sunshine and blue skies, and 2 minutes later, as I'm sitting here telling you a story, bam, it's raining and I have to close up all the hatches. 36 degrees Celsius, and now the humidity is climbing, and I've closed the boat off. And this is why I don't wear clothes on a sailboat. It is so hot all the time. It's brutal.